Hello and welcome to the news to present. My name is Jeffrey Ziambo. Top stories in the news. The Zambia Medicines Regulatory Authority has refuted media reports suggesting that there are fake medicines on the Zambian market. Vice President Inonge Wina has directed Commerce Minister Margaret Mwanakatwe to institute an import ban on edible oils in Zambia. A total of 29 new cholera cases have been recorded, bringing the cumulative cases to 720 since the outbreak in October this year. The news in detail. The Zambia Medicines Regulatory Authority, ZAMRA, has refuted media reports suggesting there are fake medicines in the country. In the Times of Zambia on Friday, the 8th of December 2017, there was a story with the title "Zambia on Fake Drugs List." The story was said to be quoting the World Health Organization WHO Global Surveillance and Monitoring System GSMS for a substandard and falsified medical products. ZAMRA Director General Bernice Mwale has told journalists in Lusaka that the author of the story in the Times of Zambia newspaper misquoted and misrepresented the contents of the WHO report, thereby unnecessarily alarming the nation. Ms. Mwale says there is nowhere in the report that Zambia is mentioned as a country where fake medicines have been found. She says the public may wish to note that Zambia is a member of the WHO Global Surveillance and Monitoring System, which is a platform for countries to report substandard and falsified medicines that they detect with their local surveillance systems. Ms. Mwale says member countries, including Zambia, are expected to report these substandard and falsified medicines if found on their markets, adding that this does not mean that countries are buying fake medicines.
The author of the story in the Times of Zambia newspaper misquoted and misrepresented the contents of the WHO report, thereby unnecessarily alarming the nation. Please note that there is nowhere in the report that Zambia is mentioned as a country where fake medicines have been found. The public may wish to note that Zambia is a member of the WHO Global Surveillance and Monitoring System, which is a platform for countries to report substandard and falsified medicines that they detect in their local surveillance systems. Member countries, including Zambia, are expected to report these substandard and falsified medicines if found on their markets. This does not mean that countries are buying fake medicines.
Vice President Inonge Wina has directed Commerce Minister Margaret Mwanakatwe to institute an import ban on edible oils in Zambia. Ms. Wina says this is because the country already has companies which are able to produce edible oils. She has since stated that there should not be unfair trade between local producers and foreign-based companies.
For you to stop the edible finished products to come into the country.
Yes, ma'am.
We have our own.
We have our own.
Yeah, we should not compete with those oils that come from outside the country, so that we give our farmers more power to produce.
Indeed.
Produce more crops and then get better prices.
Well, that's exactly what they're doing.
Yeah.
We try to ensure that they stop.
Meanwhile, the Vice President has disclosed that the Lusaka South Multi-Facility Economic Zone has so far attracted over 34 investors with an investment threshold of $1.3 billion. Ms. Wina says the economic zone has created over 2,000 direct jobs, with more indirect jobs to be created through backward and forward linkages in value chains. And Ms. Wina has stated that in order to enhance industrialization through value addition, the Ministry of Commerce, Trade and Industry is aggressively pursuing the value chain programs aimed at encouraging Zambians to be involved in production, processing and marketing of various finished products under the Citizens Economic Empowerment Commission, CEEC. She was speaking when she commissioned the Zambian Fertilizers Limited blending plant worth $5 million at the Lusaka South Multi-Facility Economic Zone. Details in the following report.
A stable agriculture sector ensures a nation of food security. Food security prevents malnourishment that has traditionally been believed to be one of the major problems faced by developing countries. Most countries rely on agricultural products as well as associated industries for their main source of income. Vice President Inonge Wina has commissioned this fertilizer blending plant worth $5 million at the Lusaka South Multi-Facility Economic Zone. The establishment of this plant has resulted in the creation of 123 permanent jobs and over 400 indirect jobs through agro dealers. It is estimated to produce 280 metric tons of fertilizer per 8-hour shift, and the Vice President has disclosed that the Lusaka Multi-Facility Economic Zone has attracted 34 investors with an investment threshold of $1.3 billion US dollars.
Currently, the Lusaka South Multi-Facility Economic Zone has attracted 34 investors with an investment threshold of $1.3 billion with over 2,000 direct jobs. And more indirect jobs will be created through backward and forward linkages in the value chains. In order to enhance industrialization through value addition, the Ministry of Commerce, Trade and Industry is aggressively pursuing the value chain program aimed at encouraging Zambians to be involved in production, in processing and marketing of various finished products under the Citizens Economic Empowerment Commission. I would like to call upon the private sector players to supplement government's efforts in agricultural development.
And speaking earlier, Lusaka Province Minister Jaffen Mwakalombe says he will always welcome such kind of investment in the province. He, however, hopes that this investment will increase fertilizer production in the country.
Witnessing the fruits of the government's efforts in making the deliberate policy to develop our country. As Lusaka Province, we are ready to facilitate for any investment in the province, working with the Ministry of Commerce and Trade. Your Honor, the Vice President, invited ladies and gentlemen, it is a known fact that agriculture is a basic source of food supply for any country. Apart from that, it also creates employment opportunity for the people. Hence, it is a backbone to any economy. It is in this regard that under the able leadership of His Excellency, the President of the Republic of Zambia, Mr. Edgar Chagwa, the government has identified agriculture as one among drivers to diversify and create a resilient economy for our country's development without leaving anyone behind, as stated in the 7th National Development Plan.
Meanwhile, Commerce Minister Margaret Mwanakatwe has stated that the established plant is part of the expansion program to meet the quality and quantity of blended products for both commercial and smallholder farmers.
Organic micronutrients, zinc, boron, copper, iron, magnesium, manganese, and calcium into blended fertilizers that are crop-specific, soil-specific, lime-enriched, and organic matter enriched for Zambian soils and the region. At a cost of $5 million US and located in the Lusaka South Multi-Facility Economic Zone, the new fertilizer blending plant is part of the expansion program to meet the quantity and quality of blended products for both commercial and smallholder farmers.
And Export Trading Group Executive Chairperson Mahesh Patel says the company will endeavor to compete favorably on the country's agro-value chain while providing employment for locals and smallholder farmers.
With these companies, we have combined a powerful business model centered around agri-input supply, commodity and trading, and agro-processing. With this central tenets, we call we are able to support smallholder farmers' production, provide access to markets for commodities, increase the value of consumption of local products, and perhaps most particularly, create jobs locally.
ETG manages over 713 metric ton storage capacity in Malawi, Mozambique, South Africa, Zambia, and Zimbabwe. With such an investment in Zambia's capital city, it is only hoped that the facility improves production of fertilizer among other producers like the Nitrogen Chemicals of Zambia and CZ. Alfred Mwansa, reporting for QTV News in Lusaka.
A total of 29 new cholera cases have been recorded as of 18 hours on the 14th of December 2017, bringing the cumulative cases to 720 since the outbreak in October this year. The deaths recorded so far since the outbreak is 20. Ministry of Health Head Communications and External Relations Stanislaus Ngosa, in a statement issued to QTV News, says of the new cases, 14 were from Chipata, 12 Kanyama, 1 Matero, and 2 Chawama. Mr. Ngosa says there are 57 cases under treatment, 20 at Matero, 18 Kanyama, 14 Chipata, 4 Chawama, and 1 at Bauleni. He says the cumulative number of cases for Lusaka district is 760, with 20 cumulative deaths recorded. Mr. Ngosa says the ministry has heightened provision of chlorine, health promotion, and working with stakeholders in improving access to clean and safe drinking water. He says burying of shallow wells and decontaminating pit latrines has continued. Mr. Ngosa says the ministry is also sensitizing communities on the prevention of the disease using various media platforms and door-to-door campaigns. Patriotic Front Deputy Secretary General Mumbi Piri has called on the opposition political parties not to frustrate the PF government as it delivers on its campaign promises. The Patriotic Front Deputy Secretary General said this in Lusaka during the launch of the campaign tracker project done by Action Aid Zambia in partnership with Open Society Initiative for Southern Africa, OSISA. Mrs. Piri says the ruling party stands ready to be held accountable over its campaign promises as enshrined in the 2016-2021 PF manifesto. She says as the PF government tries to fulfill campaign promises, it is important that political parties do not frustrate the efforts by government in delivering the much-needed development. Details in the following report.
It is a known fact that politicians during campaigns humble themselves before the people, soliciting for votes. They kneel before the voters and promise all the sweet little nothings. This is the only time when people see politicians become humble to the voters. It is during this same period that politicians come up with many promises to the people of Zambia. But the question is, to what extent are those promises fulfilled? It is against this fact that Action Aid Zambia, in partnership with Open Society Initiative for Southern Africa, OSISA, embarked on a project of monitoring the performance of the party in government. Action Aid Zambia today launched the campaign tracker project that seeks to enhance the relationship between the government and the Zambian citizens by way of engagement on governance issues. Action Aid Zambia Country Director Narucha Ziba expressed the project aims and beneficiaries.
Further, our campaign was more premised around resource mobilization, where we were trying to ask where with the financing of the various promises which the political parties were making and commitments going to come from. So we had engaged our colleagues from the media, and it's from that that this project was birthed with the support of the Open Institute for Southern Africa, OSISA. So this project aims at creating a platform for dialogue between duty bearers and the right holders in line with social accountability. By the social accountability, we simply are referring to an approach that primarily relies on civic engagement.
The party in government was represented by PF Deputy Secretary General Mumbi Piri, who clearly stated that her party stands ready to be held accountable over its campaign promises as enshrined in the 2016 to 2021 PF manifesto.
It is our hope that in line with the objective of the campaign track, the implementation will avail members of the public copies of what we have done. We hope this point does not get politicized, because there is only one political party which has a social contract with Zambians, and that is the Patriotic Front. available of the manifesto. Therefore, because of critical in tracking the progress made regarding fulfillment, and will inform the quality of feedback from different stakeholders, key among them the Zambian people. Let me assure you that the Patriotic Front is ready to be held accountable by the people, their masters. We also hope that the implementers will ensure a validation workshop is held and input from Patriotic Front is valid.
Political parties present at the meeting took turns to give further suggestions on fulfilling promises given by politicians.
Today, the unfortunate situation is that it looks like our politics is just about name-calling, criticizing each other, and those who have the foulest language carry the day.
When it comes to tracking their promises and also holding them accountable, they should stop treating opposition political parties, and I do not mean any party in particular, but as a general body of opposition political parties, as enemies.
It's a great initiative. This project is a great project which has come a little bit late. But as they say, better late than never. Why am I saying that it has come a little bit late? It has come a little bit late because the political environment in a country is greatly poisoned.
The initiative is very good because we've made the first step to try and address this issue and make our politics issue-based. The biggest challenge we might have is the fact that the information that we need to hold the government accountable would have to come from the government itself.
We need to reach a level where we should all believe that politics is not a game of fist, and politics is not a game where you demonize the government that is in, or the ruling government or the administration that has taken the reign of governance. Like one of our colleagues stated, that political parties create a platform to administer the government which is there, which is the government of the Republic of Zambia, where all of us are part of.
The general objective of the Campaign Tracker project is to track and assess the performance of the incumbent government with regards to the promises they have made to the people of Zambia. QTV News, Albert Mpezeni.
The opposition National Restoration Party, NAREP, has called for an end to what it has termed as barbaric politics. NAREP spokesperson Bwalya Nondo tells QTV News that it is unfortunate that the Zambian politics has now been married with barbaric acts by some political players. He says there is need to practice politics of civility. Mr. Nondo says what happened at 5FM radio, where some National Democratic Congress officials were attacked by suspected PF cadres, is worrying, as such acts are a threat to political democracy. The NAREP spokesperson has since demanded for an apology from the ruling PF for such a barbaric act.
Cause for seriousness from the powers that be. We want to make an earnest appeal to the PF that they must learn lessons. You cannot start intimidating media in that manner and expect to govern the country and listen, expect people to listen to you. That was barbaric and foolishness to the highest level. We want to remind the PF government that it was the same media that helped them to be where they are today. The likes of Chishimba Kambwili, when he was in the opposition, when he was in PF, he behaved the same way. Some media houses in this country were closed because of the behavior of those in power today. And those that are there, they don't want to learn a lesson. But we want to put a caution that it's important that we respect the media, let them operate independently. We need to give them space in which to operate. You cannot take your political nonsense to the media. If you have issues with each other as politicians, sort about where you are, unlike involving the media.
First Lady Esther Lungu has observed that women and children are the most affected with poor structural housing in the country. Mrs. Lungu says with the scourge of the HIV/AIDS pandemic, families have been broken, affected by death, loss of incomes, thereby compromising their living conditions. Speaking when addressing residents in the Mapepe area of Chalanga district, Mrs. Lungu says government is aware of the plight of the Zambian people in need of adequate shelter. Mrs. Lungu has noted that decent shelter comes with other social benefits that add value to the well-being of an individual. She has, however, donated 4 sofas to 4 families in Mapepe area.
Normally when we enter into a home, we want to see what is in the sitting room. That's when we say, tinangena mnyumba. Ukangena mnyumba muliye mipando muona mga kuti yai mavuto pano nidie polini na kanto. Koma wakakweka kwa mpando you feel you are going to eat something. So that let me start by giving them the entry fee of chairs where people will be received from.
And speaking earlier, Standard Chartered Bank Zambia Chief Executive Officer Herman Kasekende has thanked government for creating an enabling environment for women to thrive.
We are particularly pleased to support these women because we believe that supporting women means supporting generations of many people to come. Ladies and gentlemen, may I take this moment to thank the government of the Republic of Zambia for creating an enabling environment, not only by elevating women into leadership, but also giving us an opportunity where we are able to do business, make money, and put some aside today to come and offer 4 houses in Mapepe.
Southern African Center for the Constructive Resolution of Disputes SACOD Executive Director Boniface Chembe has urged government to provide a level playing field as effective checks and balances will consolidate Zambia's good governance record as a multi-party state without intimidating peers beyond 2018. Mr. Chembe has encouraged the Patriotic Front leadership to place priority on ensuring that the political environment in the country is peaceful and conducive for providing political leaders to share their manifestos and their ideas with the electorate, as diversity is a key ingredient in a multi-party system of governance. And Mr. Chembe has described the year 2017 as a challenging year which heightened political tension owing to the incarceration of United Party for National Development UPND leader Hakainde Hichilema, as well as the invocation of Article 31 declaring a state of threatened emergency. He has told Q News that the 127 days incarceration of Mr. Hichilema and 5 UPND members and declaration of the sort worsened political division among the Zambian people.
2017 has been extremely challenging politically. It has been 1 year that has kept all Zambians on their toes, and all Zambians basically anxious and not knowing whether we would be able to maintain our peace or not, or whether some unfortunate incidences that may have or may have impacted negatively to the well-being of the country would have taken place. As you are aware, we had instances of one of the biggest opposition political party leader being incarcerated. We had other instances such as the invocation of Article 31 declaring basically a threatened state of emergency, among other issues that we felt did not augur well in our political environment. So the year 2017, politically speaking, has been extremely challenging, and we hope that as we begin to count down to the new year, that 2018 will bring about better fortunes in as far as the political environment is concerned, so that our political environment is peaceful and it is conducive for providing a politics that allows our political leaders to share their manifestos, to share their ideas, to share their views in a peaceful manner without jeopardizing the peace of the nation. So 2017 has been extremely challenging, and we hope that 2018 can be much better from what 2018 has been.
Electoral expert McDonald Chipenzi has expressed concern at the tendency by the National Assembly to table some hastily designed bills in the Zambian parliament, which has since adjourned till February 2018. Mr. Chipenzi says the speed at which bills are presented is contributing to noted lacunas now compromising legal systems in Zambia. Mr. Chipenzi is worried that hastily constructed bills taking place in this country are increasingly becoming retrogressive, as even courts are failing to interpret the law effectively. He says there is need for government, through Justice Minister Given Lubinda, to thoroughly consult stakeholders before taking bills. Mr. Chipenzi says creation of a consultative spirit and less expensive process will result in the electorate supporting all legislative changes proposed by parliamentarians in Zambia, regardless of their political affiliation. Meanwhile, Mr. Chipenzi says the debate on the democracy in the Southern African Development Community SADC region must be taken seriously by all parliamentarians to restore confidence. He says the events in the Democratic Republic of the Congo and Zimbabwe clearly indicate that many, if not all, SADC member states are failing the good governance test.
In Zimbabwe, a clear testimony that the SADC is not the SADC we knew yesterday. It has changed. It is the first time that you are hearing of a coup in a SADC region, apart from the Congo that used to have those issues. So Parliament should have more and more attitude on that issue. So the other thing that perhaps I would want to bring to the fore of the nation is this tendency by the National Assembly of Zambia to always bring very important bills at the end of the day. This haste, hurry kind of making laws is why we have so much lacunar, infested legal system in this country, where every time we have to go and amend, because we want to rush laws when we know that a law, in as much as it's a living being or a living issue, should have some time. No, you can't change today, tomorrow you go back to say, no, there was a mistake, there's a lacuna here and there. It's because we want to rush things. So I want to see, I'm here to find an explanation. Why is it that all laws, look at the Constitution, how it was done, in a harsh manner, and today we are going back to Parliament to say, no, this Constitution has got problems. Yet we told them, take time, make sure that all the issues that need to be resolved through consensus. So really, I think there's need for our Parliament to change the way it is.
To end the news, we take a look at stories making headlines. The Zambia Medicines Regulatory Authority has refuted media reports suggesting there are fake medicines on the Zambian market. Vice President Inongewina has directed Commerce Minister Margaret Manakatwe to institute an import ban on edible oils in Zambia. A total of 29 new cholera cases have been recorded, bringing the cumulative cases to 720 since the outbreak in October this year. That's all we had in our news. My name is Jeffrey Yambo. Bye-bye.